twist, and thank God I get to do part 2 of this week's Raw Recap and Review from June 29, 2026 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. This is part 2, man, so if you ain't seen part 1, man, I'm going to give you the chance to click up there, man. Click up there, man, so you know what's going on, man. I'll wait. I said click up there. No, I'm just playing. But if you did click up there, or if you did see part 1, welcome back, man. We're getting right into the thick of it with a brand new match. Third match of the night, and it's L.A. Knight, yeah, versus Big Jimmy Uso, and he's popping out with his brother Jay Uso. He even does commentary in the match. In the commentary, it's literally hilarious. Uh, we're running this match back because LA Knight is not happy that he got help last week to beat Jimmy Uso, so they're running it back. And before the match even starts, LA gets out of the ring and tells Jay, "Hey man, you better go ahead and sit down and not get involved with this match, man. I'm trying to beat him fair and square." And Jay said, "Okay, yeet, yeet." They first start off in the match with a tie up. They're running back and forth on the ropes. That leads to a big ref situation, right into another tie up. But this time LA Knight takes advantage. Big slam down into a chokehold, rest hold. That leads to him getting back both up. He grabs his arm, wrenching on the thing, jumping down back and forth with it. So a little arm manipulation. But Jimmy Uso gets the advantage by hitting a big headbutt onto him. Then afterwards, they're fighting in the corner, but he hits him with a big arm drag into his own version of a rest hold, wrenching on his arm. They get back up, and they Irish whip him into a big LA Knight elbow. That leads to LA Knight getting him into the corner, hitting him with the yeah, stumps in the corner. And then he runs from one side to the other side with him with a big running hip. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Big Jim. Leads to them Irish whipping Jimmy again. He drops down for the back body drop, but Jimmy sees it. Hits him with a big kick. Hits him with a big uppie right there. And then the super kick to the body. And then tries to kick him in the stomach again, but this time LA Knight catch it, and he turns that into a big enziguri. That leaves LA Knight going down to the seated position in the corner, and you know the Samoans let her do that running, straight to the face, right there. And then he gets on the top rope, and it hits a big diving crossbody onto him. 1, 2, kick out from Mr. Yeah. But Jimmy's not done. He sees LA Knight getting up, big clothesline to the outside, and then hits him with a big suicide dive, and that helps him get onto the commercial break. Get back from the commercial break. These men are still at it. Jimmy hits it with a big chop. LA saying, you know what, let me get a chop in my own. And try to go for the LA come with a jab, jab, jab. But then he gets Irish whipped out of nowhere by Jimmy and then turn that into a big Samoan drop. LA Knight's in a seated quarter position again in the corner. You know, it's time to go to that running again, but LA dodges at it this time and hits the jab, 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 jab. And as he been in another punch, and Jimmy hits that man with a big uppie out of nowhere, interrupting him. That leads to him Irish whipping LA Knight. They run it back and forth. But LA gets the big advantage with a big jumping, diving clothesline onto him. Hitting him with a leg hit. Then he picks him up, hits him with a Russian leg sweep, throws him into the corner, right in for a big corner neck breaker. Then he goes into the middle rope and tries to go for the LA Knight, elbow, but that gets dodged. He jumps over him and then hits with a big super kick by Jimmy onto him into his own version of a spear. 1, 2. Kick out from LA though. He's not going out like that. That leaves Jimmy trying to get the match over. He goes to the top rope to do a Uso splash, but LA Knight gets involved. He jumps up on the top rope, hits him with a big superplex, knocks him down. 1, 2, kick out from Jimmy though. That leads to him then rolling outside the ring, Big Jim, and LA Knight does the outside dropkick he does on him. And that leaves Jay now standing up saying, "Hey, get that man LA, get that man LA." And then LA grabs Jimmy and pump fakes like he's gonna throw him at Jay. And Jay like flinches and he plays when then he throws it back into the ring, and then when Jay's not looking, he hits it with a big boot. He knocks Jay down on the ground. That leads to Jimmy trying to take advantage when LA gets back into the ring, tries to hit it with a Samoan drop this time, but he reverses out of that again. LA Knight hits it with a big DDT. He goes to the middle rope, goes for the LA Knight, elbow right down on him, and then as he's trying to get the BFT going on, that leads to Jay Uso jumping into the apron. LA instantly hits him with a big clothesline, knocks him down. At least Jimmy taking advantage, hitting him with a big roll up. 1, 2, 3, good W for Big Jim. I like the back and forth between these men. I'm giving this match a little 4 stars. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was fun. I love what they're doing with LA Knight being paranoid about the bloodline. Like him attacking Jay really ruined a chance of winning because Jay wasn't even doing nothing to get involved. And LA Knight ends up being a sore loser after that. He ends up attacking Jimmy, and as he's attacking Jimmy, that leads to Jay Uso getting into the ring, tackling him down, hitting him with multiple punches back and forth. Jimmy is now trying to get up near the rope. Leaves Solo Sikoa out of nowhere with a big Samoan spike and then dips off. As he's dipping off, Jay's distracted. LA Knight grabs and hits with a big BFT. And then that leads to LA Knight and Solo having a little standoff, and Solo's being like, yeah, man, we did that, man. That leads to them going to the back. Jimmy and Jay are upset at the end. They see Fatu. They say, hey, man, where you been at, man? Where's the help? And Fatu says, I told y'all enough times. I don't take orders from y'all, especially not your bitch ass, Jay. and speaking of what's going on, what happened tonight, the tribal chief is not happy with y'all, so he told me to go to SmackDown so we can handle this Solo business. And Jay said, "Oh, you going there? I'm going too, because I need to get that belt over there. I'm trying to go for that Sami Zayn belt." Bloodline's gonna be finishing some business on SmackDown coming up soon. Then they show a nice little Lyra Valkyria vignette, basically her going and saying, she says that moment when they lost, she let the anger take over her, but she's really upset how like everyone's turning their back on her, like, because for over a year Bayley was up there whooping her and everything, but she turned her back once. She go crazy one time, and now it's a problem. She mentions how she sacrificed her career trying to beat this team with Bayley instead of trying to go for her single opportunities. But she's finally happy to finally settle that score and to finally care about herself. Then we get to our fourth match of the night. It is for IC title, number one contender. We get Raquel Rodriguez, aka Big Mommy Cool, versus Maxine Dupree. And Raquel instantly tries to get the match going, tries to go for a big boot on the Maxine. Maxine drops down into a bridge, gets back up, hits multiple kicks with her, and then hits her with a hurricanrana to the outside. That leads to Dupree trying to hit a little baseball slide to the outside, but she slides all the way out of the ring. Raquel dodges out the way and grabs her by the hair and slams her down to the mat. Then gets her into the ring, hits her with a big boot, and she picks her for a suplex and bounces her off the rope right into a big suplex. 1, 2, kick out from Maxine. That leaves her to then grab Maxine and then slam her on the corner and then hit the multiple back elbows, back elbows, back elbows. She then picks her up and then hits her with a little Lex Luger torture rack, wrenching down, breaking her body half on top of her. But Maxine finds a way to try to sunset flip out of that. They get back up. Raquel tries to go for the clothesline, but Maxine weaves that one, but she forgot about the other arm. Big back down there. 1, 2, kick out from Dupree though. Then Raquel tries to go for the bounce suplex again, but that gets reversed right into a big tornado DDT. At least her then hitting her with a big boot. Then hitting her with a big elbow into some clotheslines, and then finishing off with a big spinning heel kick by Maxine. She even does a pop-up leg drop, slam it down right on her, and then she tries to go for a fisherman suplex on Big Mommy, but Raquel ain't going. She reverses out of that, pushes her away. Maxine tries to take the advantage again by trying to hit a spinning heel kick on her, but she catches Dupree mid-kick, hits her with a big Tejana bomb. 1, 2, 3, big W for Raquel. Overall fun match. It was enjoyable. Not too much to really work with. That's why I'm giving the match a good 3 stars. It's a good average match. Raquel still looks strong. Maxine keeps going down and down and down. She's probably going to team up with Chad Gable after this, this disappointment. But for in the future, we're going to have Raquel Rodriguez versus Ruca. I wonder if Raquel will be able to beat her. Then that leads on to another Danhausen segment. He finally comes back to his lair and finds that it's been terrorized and that his gifts and everything have been taken away. And at least Liv Morgan walking there with that laugh, says, that's what you get, Danhausen. You done took our money, you done cursed me, you took everything, so why don't you go make it right, or we're going to make your life a living hell. And she just dips out. Then that leads into the last match of the night. We get Chad Gable versus JD McDonough, and he has Dirty Dom with him as a manager, and Dirty Dom is wearing the gift that the Knicks gave him for helping them win the championship. He's wearing a jersey with Danhausen's name on the back. JD and Chad start the match. They start off with a big tie-up, leads into a big wrestling slam by Gable. They get back up, go for a tie-up again, but this time JD grabs his arm, jumps over his arm into a big slam, slamming him down, and then grabbing his arm for a big arm manipulation segment. But Chad Gable gets back up, leg sweeps him down, and goes for a pin into that, but JD kicks out of that quickly. JD then hits him with a chop to the chest. He Irish whips him, but this time when he's doing that, he gets hit with a big back body drop by Gable into an arm drag and right into a big suplex. And then he has him in the corner. He's on the one multiple chops in the corner. Chad then Irish whips JD again, and then they go to a segment of multiple pin attempts, kicking out back and forth, back and forth, back and forth into a big lift up pin attempt. They get out of it, but Gable instantly hits that man with a rolling thunder, which is a jump when you do a front flip, kicking somebody in the head. He instantly turns that right into a big ankle lock. He's wrenching on the ankle. But as he's doing that, Dom puts the ring skirt in the ring so JD can grab it using his leverage to get the rope break. That pisses off Chad Gable. He gets outside arguing with Dom, but that leads to a distraction with JD McDonough taking advantage, grabbing that man, throwing him into the steel steps, and then picking him up and slamming him leg first into the steel steps. And that's how we get to the commercial break. We get back from the commercial break with JD having an advantage, but Chad turns that into his own by grabbing him with a big German suplex. And then another German suplex goes for a pin off of that. 1, 2, kick out from JD. Then he at least JD now being in the corner, he hits that man with 2 rolling thunders in the corner, and he's trying to go the third one in. JD runs up and grabs him and turns into a big standing Spanish fly. His Spanish flies are tough, I ain't gonna lie. 1, 2, kick out from Gable though. At least JD to use the big Funko Pop head of his own, big headbutt to Chad Gable, but it seems like they both did the headbutt at the same time. They both fall down, but Gable falls on top of him. 1, 2, kick out from JD. They get up now. They head into a strike exchange, back and forth, but JD caps it off by picking him up for a big power bomb. Then he goes for a pin off of that, but Gable kicks out. He says, "Let me not fret." He grabs Gable again, picks him up for a big brain buster. 1, 2, kick out from Gable again. That leads to JD being upset. Gable's still fired. He gets up. JD's running towards him, but Chad, big back body, drops him to the corner, and then he goes to the top rope to try to go for the moonsault. As he's going for the moonsault, JD puts his boot up in the air, but Chad lands on his feet, grabs his foot, turns that into the big ankle lock. As he's doing the ankle lock, though, JD finds a way to use his leg to throw Chad Gable outside the ring. He gets back on top of the ring with Gable trying to go to the top rope to a move on to JD, but JD ends up jumping up to the top rope, grabs him, and then does the top rope Spanish flash, and that was nasty. It looked like Chad hit the top of his head, like he got spiked on there, but gladly he was fine. 1, 2, kick out from that though, and after that, Danhausen finally pops up with the human monies. He has the briefcase, and he drops it down. At least Dom Mysterio then running after him, and at least with that distraction, JD's not paying attention. Dad grabs him, slams him to the turnbuckle, hit him with a big German suplex into a pin. He kicks out of that pin, but he instantly turns into a big ankle lock by Chad Gable. He's wrenching on it. He has to tap out. Chad Gable gets the W. Good back and forth match. I think this is the best match of the card. I like to give that match overall 4.25 stars. Impressive match. Chad Gable still on the up and up, and the Judgment Day, they still getting cooked. I think overall, I think Chad might be fighting Penta at SummerSlam for the IC title. You know, that's Gable's hometown in Minnesota, so maybe he's gonna get a title match there. As it looked like how it's going. But after the match, shenanigans keep going on because the Judgment Day, Dom and JD see the briefcase, they open it up and get hit with some white powder, and that leads to Danhausen running back while they're blinded and grabbing his jersey back from Dirty Dom. He's celebrating on the stage, but big Raquel Rodriguez, boom, backs him down and takes the jersey and shows it to the Judgment Day. I got the jersey, we can go now. But that is not the last thing we're going to talk about, because even though that was the last match, that was not the main event. The main event is Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, with the Jacob Fatu with him. He's letting the crowd get hype. He goes, Atlantic City, acknowledge me, burn it down. Oh. Seth Rollins pop out, and I ain't gonna lie, they had the longest face off of all time. They ain't do nothing for like a hot minute. But Seth starts to talking up and saying, hello, my brother. He says, for 14 years, man, we've been going back and forth, but now it is the time that I say this. You are now in possession of a title that doesn't belong to you. It belongs to me, Seth Rollins. And Roman's like, it belonged to you. He said, Seth, you're at the back of the line. You haven't done anything good enough to earn the shot for this title. And Seth said, you know what, you can do that with everyone in the back, but me. when it come to you, I'm always at the front of the line. He says your persona, how you act, everything you have, it is owned by me. I own this ring. I own what's in your head. And he shows proof of it. You know how at WrestleMania 41, I'm the one that pinned you. And I took your wise man. WrestleMania 40, I'm the one that helped Cody get the dub over you. He said, in your whole 5-year run as the big tribal chief and everything going on, you beat everybody but me. And we got to mention how I interrupted your main event, WrestleMania 31, with the biggest cash-in of all time. And there's nothing you could do about it. And he emphasizes off saying he's owned him ever since he betrayed the Shield, started everything going on with this. He says, I'm not here just to ask you for a title shot. He said, I'm here to give you something. I'm giving you the gift of having your chance to beat Seth Rollins because, he says, I'm gonna be real. It's probably your last chance to do this, because we getting old, man. When we came into the business, we was the young bucks getting rid of the old people, but now it's all these men and women are younger and doing good. They're gonna do that to us soon. So you don't have a lot of time, man. And Roman says, you know what? It's been a very long time since I heard you say the truth. He says, you know what? I don't want to beat you. I need to beat you. My family needs to see you beat you. So you know what? At SummerSlam, let's run it back. They're going to fight at SummerSlam, Seth versus Roman. That's going to be a banger match. And it looks like Roman's finally going to get his win back. Because he's never been able to beat Seth, and that's like the one thing he could never do. I thought it would have been like at a WrestleMania or something they would have this, but SummerSlam is nice too. I would like some tickets if you guys are offering, But that is going to be the end of part 2. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Every week we do these Raw recap reviews, and every PLE from WWE we do the reviews as well. Also, we do WWE 2K26 content on this channel as well. The My Rise part 2 will be coming out soon. This Raw was pretty good. I imagine they really signed me overall, but I feel like, they coming back from Saudi Arabia. Everybody tired, man. I get it. So, but at the end, y'all, I'm Twist. Remember, y'all, Jesus loves you. And to always keep God first. I'm out.